Hi, welcome to Stories with me, Shonna. Today we're on chapter 19 of the Barren Grounds. When we last left off in chapter 18, it was the climax of the story. That means the most exciting, all of the events led up to this one moment when the wolf grabbed Eli by the leg and was dragging him away, and all of the characters gathered together and they fought against the wolf and they beat him. Now we're left with what's going to happen with the wolf, who's still alive now, by the way. Is his desire to mess things up, is it still going to keep happening, or has he changed his ways? And when he said he was sorry, forgive me, did he really mean it or not? And are they going to be able to stop the white time and bring back spring and balance to nature? I don't know. Let's find out. I have a cup of tea. I always like to have a drink or something that I can hold on to and helps me make reading time a special time. What do you have to make reading time special for you? Maybe you like to listen to the story with someone that you love or care about. Or maybe you have a favorite blanket or something, glass of water, snack, something that just makes this extra special in your day. We'll take a moment. You can pause this video as many times as you need to. Don't have to listen to it all at once. You can come back to it again and again. But go ahead and do what you need to do to be ready. I'm ready now. Let's get started. Chapter 19, The Barren Grounds. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really enjoying sharing this story with kids. It's a wonderful book by a wonderful author. All right, let's settle in. Chapter 19, The Barren Grounds. Well, just the first line is surprising me. Are you ready? Ochik tended to the wolf's wounds. So not only did they not kill the wolf, and they had every right to, because it's a dangerous predator, right? And it was gonna kill Eli, honestly. Not only did they not kill him, Ochik is actually helping heal him. Wow, what does that tell you about Ochik? He has a lot of compassion, doesn't he? Ochik tended to the wolf's wounds, and Arik watched with great interest and occasionally fetched one thing or another from Ochik's pack. Morgan wasn't interested so much in what Ochik was doing. She wasn't even sure that she wanted the wolf to live. What do you think about this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to feel about it. Instead, she kept wondering to herself, if they saved the wolf, what would stop him from stalking them again? Had she and Eli made a mistake in pleading for the beast's life? Having the wolf mere feet away from both of them didn't help matters. It caused Morgan to question things all the more. And Eli remained terrified. I don't blame him. You okay? She asked. She had her arms wrapped protectively around him. She craned her neck, that means stretched her neck. She craned her neck around to see his face. He was staring at the animal, at the gaping wound. Gaping means like spread wide open. At the gaping wound, at its open mouth and razor-sharp teeth. Maybe picturing his own blood on the ground rather than the wolf's. What could have been? It's very traumatizing for Eli to be dragged out of the hut like that by such a dangerous animal. He almost lost his life. He really did. No wonder he's terrified. I don't want him to die, he whispered. I don't want anybody to die. And for a moment, the only sound was the wolf's labored breathing. Wow, Eli's a kind soul. Even though he's terrified of this beast, he doesn't want it to die. I can understand that. If he dies, he dies, Morgan said. We did everything we could. He kind of did it to himself. Ochik was protecting you, Morgan said. He was protecting all of us. And they watched Ochik work. He looked as though he were conducting a symphony, like a symphony orchestra, the way his paws moved fluidly from one task to another. He'd brought medicines with him, and he'd ground those medicines in a bowl with a tool that looked like a miniature baseball bat, like a tool that he could crush the leaves and roots and plants into finer particles. From there, he'd made a paste with sap, tree sap, and snow, suspending it over the fire until it began to bubble. With the paste ready, he covered the wolf's wounds with it, the ones inflicted by his hatchet and the torches. Arik administered strips of hide to the wounds, and finally, Ochik made tea for the wolf using different medicines and pine. He hung the pot over the fire using the spit, and there was nothing else to do while they waited for the water to boil. Morgan and Eli stared at the wolf while the wolf struggled to breathe, groaning every once in a while. And each time he groaned, he placed his paw over the hatchet wound. Blood was soaking through the strip of hide Arik had placed there, and seeing the red stains forming on the hide, Arik approached the wolf and applied pressure, like pushed down, on the wound to try and stem the flow of blood. To stem the flow of blood means stop or slow down the flow of blood. The wolf snarled and swatted at Arik, and she only narrowly dodged the strike. "You're going to bleed to death, you dumb wolf," Arik said stubbornly, staying where she was, her paws pressed down on the wound. "What do you care?" the wolf asked. Arik pressed down the slightest bit harder and made the wolf moan and look away from the wound, and when he did, his eyes met Eli's. "What do any of you care?" the wolf asked. Eli started with a trembling voice, but he couldn't force out more than that one sound. "What are you staring at, boy?" the wolf growled through the pain. "Nothing," Eli said. "You don't want anybody to die?" the wolf uttered, repeating what Eli had just said. "You want me to die, child. I would want the same thing." "I don't," Eli said. "I wouldn't." The wolf kept his sickly yellow eyes on him, and then looked to the opening at the top of the hut where the poles met. "You might get your wish anyway, even though you won't admit it." "Stop being such a baby," Morgan said. "I never thought I'd hear a wolf pouting. Holy." "At least the girl speaks what's on her mind," the wolf said. "I never wanted you to die." Eli raised his voice, which seemed to startle the wolf. "There it is." The wolf tried to laugh, but he coughed out blood. Anger. "Why are you so mean?" Eli asked. "We're trying to help you." "I never asked for your help," the wolf said. "Yeah, you did. You were literally asking for forgiveness," Morgan said. The wolf blinked a tear of pain out of the corner of his eye. In the silence, Arik changed the dressing on the wolf's wound, adding a fresh strip of hide. She placed her paws on top of the new dressing, and the wolf grimaced, baring his teeth for a moment. The water started to boil, and Ochik took the small pot down. He stirred the liquid around before pouring it into a cup for the wolf, and he helped the wolf raise his head, and with care, he tipped the cup towards the beast's mouth. The wolf swallowed, and even that seemed to cause him agony. "I might be mean," the wolf said to Eli, "but you're weak. What would you rather be?" "How about just nice?" Morgan said, "rather than either." "And who's the one who's weak right now?" Eli said. The wolf looked at Eli contemplatively, and there was a spark in his yellow eyes. "Maybe I was wrong," the wolf admitted. When you talk to me like that, I think maybe you can change." "Leave him alone," Morgan said. "You'll see," the wolf said. The world will harden you. He nodded, as if agreeing with himself. It's interesting, eh? That the wolf says, you might be kind right now, but that'll change because the world is going to harden you. The world is a mean place, is basically what the wolf was saying. I wonder what happened to the wolf that made him so bitter, that made him lose hope, made him lose his compassion and kindness that Eli still has. I don't know. There's a story there. Eli shook his head. If I can change, then you can change. The wolf chuckled, and more blood dripped from the corners of his mouth. Arik dabbed at it. You ridiculous boy, the wolf whispered. Look at you, Eli said, trying to kill us and nearly getting killed. If it hadn't been for me, who's ridiculous? Leave me be, the wolf said. Awas. In the morning, after they'd all woken up and had breakfast, the wolf seemed to have turned a corner. He ate a small portion of food. His breathing was easier, and his eyes were a brighter yellow. But when he tried to get up after eating, he cried out and collapsed onto his back. He would live, but he was still weak and seemed in too much pain to go anywhere or do anything. For the 4 travelers, this meant it was safe to go. We'll leave you the hut, Ochik said. They'd packed up everything they would need to sustain themselves before entering the green time, where the land would provide for them. They were all standing outside by the opening of the hut, while the wolf remained inside on the ground by the fire. Tonight we'll be in the green time, Ochik continued, and I haven't slept under the stars since I was young. How adorable, the wolf said dryly. Don't make me regret my choice if you approach us on the way back. I'll do what's in my nature, the wolf warned. As long as it's not what your master told you to do. Ochik didn't wait for the wolf to say anything back. He just turned away and started walking. Can we just pause here for a second? What do you think it means when the wolf says, I'll do what's in my nature? What do you think? I'm not sure myself. And it seems though like the wolf is not going to apologize for being a wolf. A wolf's going to wolf. And Ochik's like, I'm down with that. That's okay with me. I'm going to be me. You do you. But don't fall slave to a master who is using you like a puppet for their own selfish needs. That's an interesting little passage there. Made me had to stop and think about that. Ochik didn't wait for the wolf to say anything back. He just turned away and started walking. Arik followed him, and the 2 animal beings made their way through the grove and into the open, where they would start on their way to the man's cabin. I wonder what's going to be there. Eli stayed behind, and seeing this, Morgan remained with him, but she hung back at what felt like a safe distance. Awas, the wolf said. I'll go away in a minute, Eli said. I could kill you right now, sick and all. I don't think you will. Hearing the threat, Morgan stepped closer to the pair. You don't know me, the wolf said. The wolf and the boy kept their eyes on each other, Eli standing at the entrance to the hut and the wolf lying inside. Your bandages need changing, Eli said. I'll do it myself, the wolf said. Here, and Eli crouched down to enter the hut. Do you think that's a good idea? What do you think? I don't know. Eli's a remarkable kid. He's very, very compassionate, I feel like. Okay. It's okay, he said to her. Trust me. It's not you that I don't trust, she said. I am sorry. For some reason, there's a helicopter going over my house right now. If you can hear that noise, that's a helicopter, and I don't know why it's flying over my house right now. That doesn't happen very often. I'm sorry for the noise. Okay. It's not you that I don't trust, she said. He won't do anything. Eli's eyes were full of determination and assuredness, unblinking. He's got a lot of confidence. Morgan removed her hand from his shoulder. Eli entered the hut, knelt beside the wolf, and took off the bandage, which was soaked with blood. I could rip your throat out right now, you know, the wolf said. Do it if you're going to, Eli said, or be quiet and let me finish dressing your wound. He placed a new strip of hide atop the wound and walked out of the hut. What's your name, boy? The wolf asked, which stopped Eli in his tracks. Eli, what's yours? Mahican. Eli just nodded at Mahican, and then he and Morgan ran off through the grove to catch up with their companions. They were standing at the edge of the summit, waiting for them. Wow. Wow. Would you do what Eli did? Would you go to your enemy and offer to help heal them? And I wonder what the impact on the wolf will be. Do you think Eli's compassion will break through some of the wolf's bitterness and soften his heart? It was interesting that the wolf gave his name and asked Eli his, like he wanted to know him more. I wonder what that's all about. I'm really glad you joined me today. We are finished chapter 19, and we only have 2 chapters left of this book. I have questions. How about you? What are your questions right now? I'm wondering what they're going to find when they get to the hut. And I'm wondering if we're finished seeing this wolf. I have a feeling we're not. And I want to know if Eli's compassion actually reached that wolf's heart and changed him. I'm not sure. All right, I'll see you at chapter 20. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.